You know that odd feeling you get when you first use that new monitor you were super excited to receive? Be real, at some point you felt like something looked off, but just couldn't tell what or why it was that way. Most people misunderstand that feeling and what's actually causing it. The monitor you're watching this video on could look way better than it already does. And it doesn't take much time or effort, and definitely doesn't mean falling into the calibration rabbit hole. If you don't believe me, take a picture of how your monitor looks right now, and by the end of the video, you'll take another one, and I guarantee you it'll look 2 times better than before. You can come back at me if it doesn't. In a recent video, I talked about how people have different tastes in panels, colors, and stuff like that. And of course, that's also true with factory calibrations. You're lucky if your new monitor already comes with settings you actually like. Try this. Grab one really colorful image. It can be from a game. And another image that's supposed to look natural, like a person or a landscape. Then go through all the picture modes on your monitor, top to bottom, and just look. See if there's one you already like. Most people end up leaning toward vivid mode, so that's usually a good base. And from here, we can fine-tune it. And this isn't just about color settings. I'm talking about everything. Brightness, gamma, color profiles, all of it can change how the monitor looks, and by a lot. Those preset picture modes, vivid, game, cinema, whatever, are designed to look flashy, not accurate. They crank saturation, punch contrast, and mess with gamma so the screen looks impressive for advertisements. Now that we have a foundation, the first thing you should mess with is brightness. If you leave it for last, it can change how you see everything, and you may end up needing to redo it all over again. So to adjust brightness, it's the simplest thing ever. Find the sweet spot where no detail is lost because it's too dark, and nothing is too bright and hurting your eyes. Also keep in mind the amount of light in your room. Sunlight can influence how much brightness you'll need. Next is contrast and black equalizer. You can do this using a reference image like this one, or just tune it to your preference. Either way, when you reach that balance, not too dark, not lacking detail, it's time to move on to gamma. The usual setting here is 2.2, so keeping it at default is usually the best idea. Raising it makes the image darker. Lowering it makes it brighter, so halfway through is often optimal. When it comes to sharpness, we're going to need that landscape image again. Crank sharpness all the way up and try to notice artifacts in distant details. Grass, trees, stuff like that. Then lower it until those artifacts disappear, but before the image gets blurry. Usually that's around 5 or 6. For color temperature, once again, grab both images and mess with the settings. In terms of accuracy, you'll usually want the most neutral option. Not too blue, not too warm. If anyone tells you there's a perfect RGB number you can set by eye, they're lying. If you really want accurate colors, get a colorimeter. Don't just copy ICC profiles blindly. Even monitors of the same model will look different. It's fine to use ICCs as a reference, just don't treat them like magic solutions. So now your monitor has the groundwork done, but we're not finished yet. Remember that odd feeling I mentioned earlier? That usually comes from your brain reacting to something unfamiliar, or from expectations not matching reality. Monitor ads show perfect blacks, insane contrast, and vibrant colors, but most factory calibrations lean cooler and flatter. If your monitor still feels dull, you can safely add a bit of saturation through your GPU settings. On AMD, enable custom colors and adjust saturation. On NVIDIA, tweak the color vibrance slider. Just don't overdo it. A little vibrancy helps, too much looks fake. Now, you might have felt this too when upgrading to a higher resolution. Things should look sharper, but they don't. YouTube looks blurry. Games don't look that clear. The setting that completely changed this for me is Radeon Image Sharpening. It genuinely felt like night and day. Games, YouTube, everything suddenly looked clear again. It was like putting on glasses for the first time after years of bad vision. And I'm not exaggerating. Keep it on, always. On NVIDIA, you'll find it in 3D settings. On AMD, I recommend keeping it under 80% to avoid artifacts. So yeah, that didn't take too long, right? Now take a picture of how your monitor looks, compare it to the first one, and tell me in the comments. Does it look better or not? If you still have questions, let me know. I talk about monitor picks all the time, so feel free to check out these videos. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.